Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the semifinal round of the 2024 OSCA Weekend Woodsmen Series season here at the Roval 106 Legacy Roval here at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight. As you can see, weather 65 degrees, a little bit of humidity, not too much, clear, a slight breeze. This is going to be a great night. My name is Jeremy Briggs. Alongside me is Carlos Acosta, and Vic Bloom will be stopping by here momentarily as we are at this awesome road course tonight to get ready to almost finish this season up. I can't believe it's already coming to an end. It is just flying by. Here we are in December. Carlos, what do we expect here tonight?
It's going to be very loose and slippery with iRacing's new update that have resulted in a lot of drivers bringing in a bunch of dirt and debris into the racetrack. With a track like this and how open it is and how almost dry the grass looks, it's going to be easy to make some of these really loose corners even looser by introducing something called dirt and debris.
We'll have to keep an eye on that all night long with just 2.5 minutes left here in qualifying. We'll take a quick look at our drivers' chase-off standings right there. Daniel Gore up on top of Ryan Gavel, Noah Brown, James Miller, and James Watson, your top 5 drivers. As you can see, Redux Racing on your right there, still leading the team standings. Shift Esports there in second. I believe they should be within striking range. I'm not sure how much they get for points there, but we'll have to keep an eye on that into next week. Vic, I think we should take a look at these Binks Designs broadcast points and get ready to make tonight's picks for one of the final rounds.
Yeah, of course, because you're furthest down in the standings of us three. Jeremy, you go first.
I'm going first, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I have not picked this driver this long all season. Daniel Gore, I'm picking for tonight.
It's a really good pick. If I could make that pick, I also would.
I'm embarrassed I haven't yet.
Trying to see if I've already chosen David Tucker. I have. So I'll just go with David Westergreen.
Is that a road course?
It's yeah.
Are you sure?
I may
I'll
have
give you a
forgotten.
chance to change your pick.
Who else I haven't chosen?
You got like Thomas Capuano, Nathaniel Terry, Joe Francis.
I'll go with Capuano. Give me
Dylan
Capuano.
Thomas. All right, that's also not a pick I would make, but okay. All right, I'm gonna go with somebody that I don't know if I'm gonna get to pick him again, so I'm gonna go Gavin Hibbs in the 52.
Good pick there. I was wondering if you were gonna suggest that to Carlos, but I see why.
I was going up the list, and he chose not. So
I was waiting for you to get to him, but the picks are in. Do they call us? Is this like the penultimate? I don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
Penultimate. See, we're just gonna skip the word. That's why I didn't say it. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip it. Vic, we'll see you,
Ray, you know what to
at
do.
the next half. Yes, Ray will exactly know what to do with that. Ah, man. Tricky words sometimes for me in my poor English, but we do what we can. As qualifying has rounded up, we'll get ready to take a look at our lineup here shortly. The first half of tonight is going to be 17 laps. The distance, no pitting should be necessary. The second half, there will be as we look at the lineup. Daniel Gore on the front row with Ethan Stanley to his outside. Second row, you got James Miller, David Tucker in the 75 in fourth. Noah Brown is in fifth with Gavin Hibbs in sixth. Darren Staff in the seventh starting position with Santiago Aguirre in eighth. Ninth starting position, you got the 71 of Dave Carpenter. In the 10th starting position, you got the 73, Kynan Jones. In the 11th starting position, you got the number 14 of Cassidy McLeod. In the 12th starting position, you got the 77, Jake Scarborough.
Yep, in 13th, we have Matt the Hack Hackathorn and Cooper Johnson qualifying right outside of him in 14th place. 15th, We have James Watson and Ray Bracey there on his outside. Both of these drivers looking to make some good, strong finishes to the season. Nathaniel Cherry qualified in 17th, and Adam Peeler is going to be starting this sprint race in 18th. 19th place and 20th is going to be Joe Francis and Dusty Dragon Doer. Another couple guys who want to finish this season strong. David Westergreen, who's probably going to be upset that I didn't pick him now, going to be qualifying in 21st, with Dallas Myhan filling in for the Me-Find machine in 22nd. Thomas Capiano has qualified in 33rd, and Michael Perniciglio in 24th. In the last row here, 25th and 26th is going to be Caden Tubbs and Dylan Thomas.
26 cars here to do battle.
In the starting grid, I believe.
This is going to be a large amount of cars on this track. We'll have to see if lap traffic maybe plays a role as the green flag is now out. I forgot there was a standing start, and there it is. Oh, 4 wide. Towards the back goes contact there with Darren Staff, but he keeps it straight. Everybody's still going straight at this time through the kinks here. Getting into turns 3, 4, and 5. We'll see how it plays out. So far, so good. James Miller trying to jump up there into second. Daniel Gore with a not so good start. Falling back quite a couple of positions here. Ethan Stanley out to the early lead. You see James Miller now in second. David Tucker is in third. Daniel Gore back to fourth with his teammate Noah Brown now on his back bumper. Now to the inside of him. Daniel Gore struggling really bad right now.
I think he had, yeah, he sure did. Daniel Gore had a furled black flag. Also, in addition, Michael Perniciglio got a black flag at the start of the race. I don't know if this was due to a previous race incident or if he jumped the start, but he will have to go down Pear Road.
28 machine of Perniciglio will have to make a drive-through penalty, I believe, as we watch everybody make complete lap number 1. Everybody is straight. A great start to this 17-lap heat race, or as we like to call it, the sprint here. Great racing throughout the field. Everybody getting kind of strung out. You can see a couple cars still towards the back, still side by side. Ooh, one car just went off the track right there. I believe that was Matt Hagethorn. Yep, going off the track. Oh, was it him sliding it in there? Really sliding that tire. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt that tire.
You have to look at all the dirt that's going to be brought in now from all these guys. They're going to be potentially going off track. And Dylan Thomas has jumped to Pear Road, so something has happened to Dylan Thomas. I'm going to see if I can maybe find out what happened, but in the meantime, we may have a battle for the lead here between Ethan Stanley and James Miller.
James Miller within a 1/10 of a second right there to his back bumper. This is going to be a great race throughout the night. We'll keep an eye on that. James Miller really putting the pressure on Ethan Stanley in for Ryan Gavel tonight. David Tucker right there in third. Just saw a swap for fourth and fifth. Gavin Hibbs now up to fourth. James Miller giving the pressure.
Excuse me, as I was wrong. Dylan Thomas did not get caught up in anything. He just joined the race late, so he may be pulling up on track here very soon.
Westergreen off the track. Rejoins.
What happened to Westergreen and Thomas Capiano?
Let's take a look here at the 3-wide television replay. The 21 tries to dive it in there. Oh, Westergreen. Oh, it looks like both drivers kind of just overdrove the turn, or maybe downshift a little bit quicker and maybe got some wheel hop. As we got a battle for the lead now, James Miller peeking to the inside of Ethan Stanley. Couldn't get there down the Charlotte home stretch, NASCAR Oval, to go into the road course turns number 1, 2, and 3. James Miller putting all the pressure on now as these two drivers have driven away from Tucker to about 2 seconds over Tucker. Gavin Hibbs 2.8 behind them. This great multicam, you can see Daniel Gore there in the 69. Our pole sitter now back to 9th. Watching all these drivers here, Carlos, like you were saying about drivers, go out the track and picking up a lot of dirt. And you're not joking. I do see a little bit of dirt really starting to pebbles all over the place. Oh, Daniel Gore really close there. See battling there side by side with Cassian McLeod. Look at number 88 of Aguirre there in the 10th spot. Great onboard camera right here. Super focused. You can see that 2-wide battle right there in front of him between McLeod and Gore, the 14 and the 69. Oh man, really close racing, great racing. This is Carlos. This is a heated battle for Daniel Gore trying to make the march back to the front. They had I think it was a black flag there for maybe cutting the course at some point. I'm not sure what that was for.
Yeah, that's what it was. He just cut the course a little bit. Oh, look at the whirl that Santiago gets there through the middle of the corners.
I was going to say, that was an extremely smooth turn. Did a great job. Oh, you can see everybody locking up tires here and there. This is great racing. Oh, sneaking in there, trying to get to the inside or the outside. Depends on which turn we're in. Tell you what, these laps are clicking away pretty quickly. Already getting ready to come to 12 and a half here to go. Easton Stanley comes out of the final turn. It'll be 12 laps to go this time. Right now, drivers are running about 1 minute and 9-second laps. Best lap was 1:08.8. Now they're running 1:09.2s.
An issue with Dallas Myhand and I think Westergreen again. There may have been a separate issue that may have happened at the same time. Dallas having an issue there of his vehicle, and Westergreen same thing, same corner.
Everybody's having trouble there into turn 1. Does a great job though, missing everything with that bite size on the side there.
Oh, Dallas had another issue. Oh no, same place again. This is the following lap. Dallas Myhand just unable to get that. I think he may have, I don't know. I don't even know how to diagnose that one.
Struggling significantly there in turn number 1 there for Dallas Myhand. 12 laps to go, coming to 11 laps to go, right here. James Miller now 3/10 out back. David Tucker there now in third is 3 seconds. Gavin Gibbs 3.5. Noah Brown there in fifth, 3.8. As we got a battle there for these top positions for fourth on back. These drivers are extremely close. You can see Darren Staff all over the back bumper of Kynan Jones. Kynan Jones slips up right there. Daniel Gore trying to capitalize as well. Kynan Jones on board, 136 beats per minute on the charts right now. Super focused, laser focused, trying to just get these turns a little bit off the track there in front of them. Daniel Gore gets past both of them. Oh, Staff disappears. That's a helpless feeling. Hopefully he reappears somewhere behind you. Oh no, even worse in front. Whew, that was close.
That was close, yeah. Very rare to see Darren Staff having internet connectivity issues. But it looks like it's all settled in.
Look at the heart rate drop significantly there for Kynan Jones as he gets onto the straightaways. A little more comforting for him. A little bit of breathing room. He was up to 135 there through the infield. So you can definitely tell it really getting really focused. You can see it already coming back up. You can see how stressful this infield is as Darren Staff still have a little bit of connection issue. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it doesn't impact anybody's night. Kynan Jones there in 8th with a heart rate already back up to the 120s. Oh, going back down, taking a good breather there. That's crazy. It's like feels like every time we get on board,
look
heart rate's
at all
up.
that
Debris. Wow.
That's not smoke. That's just dirt that's being kicked up. hoofs of dirt that's just being kicked up.
iRacing's update to the graphics package. Pretty significant this time around. And it looks really good here on the broadcast here on 3Y television. With a Roval 106. We got 10 laps to go now, 9 laps to go. Every time I bring up how many laps to go, they're coming to the start and finish, so I gotta start looking where they're at. This was good. That's number 39 of James Watson in 13th. Got the 91 of Cooper Johnson just in front of him in 12th. James Miller now, the VR on board. Trying to give some pressure again again to Ethan Stanley. I believe this is the halfway mark of this race. James Miller now closing in just a little bit through the infield. We'll see how he plays onto the straightaways. Gavin Hibbs is now in 3rd position, 4 seconds behind this battle. Noah Brown now back to 4th, 5.2. David Tucker, back to 5th, 5.8 out back. Those drivers are significantly closer than everybody else right now.
I was going to point out Miller took that time during the oval section of the track to make as many in-car adjustments as he could, which is already kind of limited to what he can do. But he was fumbling around, he was messing with something, and when he got his hands back on the wheel to get ready to turn in for the quad oval, he misjudged it and just barely scraped that outside wall. It's not going to hurt him or anything. It's just a lot of stuff going on with him right now.
I personally, when I had VR, I struggled finding out where my steering wheel was. Could not see it sometimes. Since we got a couple of drivers on pit road for, I'm not sure if it's damage or penalties.
It's mostly damage, yeah.
Okay.
As you mentioned it earlier, these guys will more than likely not have to pit for fuel.
Looking at my track map, we got the first two in their own little group. And then 3rd, 4th, and 5th in their own little group. 6th and 7th kind of in their own little zone. And then 8th on back to the 71 of Dave Carpenter. And 14th, they're in a group. And then behind him, another couple seconds, 2.5 back to Nathan Cherry in 15th. He's got Caden Tufts there in 19th, rounding out that group. You got Adam Bueller kind of all by himself there towards the back. Last car running on the track. Stanley still out front leading the way. 7 of Ray Bracey right there as we look at him. Currently running in the 17th position. The 75 right there. I believe it was at a 77. That's 75, excuse me, David Tucker, yep.
Yep.
We go Brown has his back bumper. That's what it is. Could not see it there for a second. These laps are just flying by. We're coming. It could be, yes. At the line now for our leaders. 6 laps to go.
Ethan Stanley has pulled away a little bit, but Miller is still within closing distance. Ethan can't make a mistake, and normally you probably wouldn't even expect a mistake from any of these top guys, but we need to factor in all the dirt that's being picked up on the race. You can see it there on the outside of the corners. If any of these guys make a mistake, it could possibly be because they just didn't factor in just how much dirt there are in some of these low grip sections.
Dallas, my hand, just a couple of car lengths ahead of them. I'm assuming he'll give way, but it could be pretty tricky if it gets into the wrong section when the leaders, if and when leaders do get to him. as we come around to the start-finish line. This time it'll be 5 laps to go here in the sprint feature portion of the Roval 106. Nobody needs to pit. We're good to go to the end.
There's a nice, interesting trend there that I've noticed with Miller. One lap he's slower, the next lap he's faster. And lap 11 he was faster than Stanley by 2.5 tenths. But then this last time by he was slower by over half a second. So it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Miller, and he's losing time. And this time by he's going to be losing even more time because he started this just under 1 second behind Ethan Stanley. So right now Miller's tire and grip is just not where he wants it to be.
As we get into these closing laps, reminder there is an invert here tonight. So these drivers that finish up towards the front will get inverted. The invert for tonight is going to be 15 cars. So whoever finishes at 15. Oh. Is that James Miller off the track?
James Miller.
Turn 1 strikes again.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we were on board, and you could start hearing the wheels, like the wheels and the engine not synchronized well.
Yep.
Yeah, and you could tell that he was gonna miss that corner. Thankfully, he didn't spin out. He would have lost that second place position to Gavin Hibbs. But yeah, he did a great job there holding on. It's only gonna lose pretty much all the time he had, and with 4 laps to go, this is Stanley's race to lose.
Ethan Stanley's going to take a breath of relief right here and come to these closing laps with 4 laps to go. A considerably large lead now, almost up to 4 seconds. Look at this battle here. Santiago in the 88, Cassie McLeod, Cooper Johnson, Jake Scarborough all in this mix right here. You can see the 91 of Cooper Johnson make another pass there for 9th position. Aguirre now finds himself in 10th. Behind him in 11th, you got Jake Scarborough. Kynan Jones is in 12th.
Yeah, Kynan Jones was dropping back a little bit. Oh, it just hit the wall.
Definitely don't want to do that. That'll slow you down for sure.
Oh, he hit the wall again.
Woo, pushing the limits. A little too far. Using every inch of the track. You can see quite a few positions right there in front of him, trying to do everything he can to get there. Look at that dust fly all over. You can see all the dirt and debris on the track, on the outsides of these turns. iRacing doing another phenomenal job with another awesome season update.
Kynan is loose all over the place.
I was just going to say, struggled on his throttle.
Figure it out.
2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2 laps remaining when they cross the line. Leader has already crossed the line. And this sprint is going to be over here very, very soon.
Stanley. Ethan Stanley filling in for Ryan Gavel, our leader. Battle for second is still pretty close there for James Miller and Gavin Hibbs.
I'm being told Noah Brown has had an issue. Oh,
Noah Brown off the track. Turn 1, Monster grabs against it. Quick look at this replay. Coming in turn 1 just past the start-finish line. Get some wheel hop. It's just a little bit too hot. It just does not make the turn. Even though there was no contact, still going to lose quite a few positions. It's going to be very hard to make them back up.
Yeah, from 4th to 13. Did a great job of waiting for there to be a gap to pull out.
West.
What's up with those screens?
As the Ethan Stanley now came out of turn 4, the final turn, passing the lap car of David Westergreen, taking the white flag of the first half. Sprint here. Aguirre there in 9th position. Scarborough in 10th on your top screen. Gavel winding his way to the turns. No pressure from James Miller, who finds himself almost 5 seconds back from the leader, Stanley. Nothing in front of him. Smooth sailing from here. Doesn't need to drive hard at all. Now coming back onto the NASCAR track. NASCAR turn 1. This older version of the Roval, we're just from turn 1 full throttle, pretty much all the way around back to the NASCAR turn 1. I just past the pit lane. Very long straightaway as Ethan Stanley comes out of the final turn. He's going to see the checkered flag waving this time. Ethan Stanley is your winner. Pulls it right off there. To turn 1, James Miller survives to finish in second, and Gavin Hibbs rounds out our podium. We'll wait for the rest of the field to come around and finish up their laps.
Shout out to Cassidy McLeod getting a top 10. I think this may be her first top 10 of her OSCA career. Of her OSCA Weekend Woodsman Series career. As we let everyone start to kind of finish up around here, get themselves sorted, let iRacing kind of refresh and see what's going on as we transition on over into the warm-up section. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the final sprint race results. Go ahead and take it away.
Ethan Stanley was your winner in the number 1 machine. James Miller finished there in second. Gavin Hibbs rounds out the podium in third. David Tooker there in fourth. Daniel Gore rounds out your top 5. Darren Staff with his hands full in that first sprint finishes in 6th. Cooper Johnson 7th. Cassidy McLeod in 8th position. Jake Scarborough in 9th. And Santiago Aguirre rounds out your top 10. Kynan Jones in 11th. James Watson is in 12th there, finishing position. 13th belongs to Noah Brown. 14th for Matt Hackathorn. 15th for Nathaniel Cherry, running at your top 15. Joe Francis, 16th. Caden Tufts, 17th. Ray Bracey, 18th. Dave Carpenter, 19th. Adam Peeler, 20th. And the rest of these drivers, 1 or more laps down. David Wester Green, 21st. Dallas Myhan, 22nd. Dustin Dewar, 23rd. Michael Pergnaciglio in 24th. Thomas Capuano, 25th. And Dylan Thomas, 26th.
That's going to do it here for the sprint race results. And I think Vic is back. Vic, what do you have here for us?
You should have picked better, Carlos.
Yeah, I really should have.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to go with Gavin Hibbs.
You're going to go with Gavin Hibbs?
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
good.
I think that was probably the pick you should have made the first time.
Yeah, well, I was a little overwhelmed.
All right. Jeremy, who you got?
Well, I'm going to grab the first half winner. I think he's going to find himself moving himself through that field quite well with Ethan Stanley.
I like that pick. I was actually going to make that pick myself, but I also have a backup pick. I'm going to go with Cassidy McLeod in the 14.
Good pick.
Have to. I think
McLeod.
Have
I been saying McLeod?
No, I think
McLeod, McLeod. I don't know.
I believe we've asked this before. I think it's McLeod.
No, maybe I'm just an idiot then. That's fine.
I just want to make sure I'm not saying right. If I am, I apologize, Cassidy. You can take it out of my pay. As the picks are in. About 3 minutes left of this warm-up session for drivers that decide to take any warm-up laps, which looks like just 1 driver, maybe 2 out here. But as we look at those Binks Designs Broadcast Championship points, Vic up on top, Carlos in second, myself, Jeremy in third, Trevor fourth, Ty in fifth, Nathaniel Cherry in sixth, and Cam in 7th. A couple of drivers and other folks that decided to help fill in for our 2024B OSCA Weekend Woodsmen Series season. As we are now in the second to last race already. Does anybody have it for Daniel Gore in that championship fight?
We'll see here very soon. We're going to take a quick little break as we get ourselves ready for the main event, the feature race here tonight. I'm going to give a shout out to Weekend Woodsmen for sponsoring this season. And I'm going to play a little video of theirs that they have asked us to play. Be right back. And once we transition on over into the race session, we'll go ahead and start commentating there again.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
And welcome back to the 3 Wide Television's presentation of the Roval 106 as drivers are getting ready for the second half feature event. As it is just a little bit longer than our first half, drivers will have to come to pit road. Another standing start. 2 minutes till we get ready to grid. Let's take a look at our lineup. Nathaniel Cherry, our leader. Matt Hackathorn starting in second. Noah Brown starting in third. James Watson starts in fourth. Fifth starting position, you got Kynan Jones, and in sixth starting position, you got the Santiago Aguirre machine. Seventh starting position, you got the 77 Lux of the Sevens of Jake Scarborough. Eighth starting position, you got the 14 of Cassidy McLeod. Starting position, you got the 91 of Cooper Johnson. In the 10th starting position, you got the 45 Darren Staff. 11th starting spot, you got the 69 of Daniel Gore. 12th, 75 David Tooker. 13th starting position, the 52 of Gavin Hibbs. 14th belongs to the 09 of James Miller. 15th goes to Ethan Stanley, and 16th, the 66 of Joe Francis.
In
Caden
17th,
Tuff. Oh,
yeah, in 17th place, Caden Tubbs, and 18th going to be Ray Bracey. Qualifying for this feature race in 19th and 20th is going to be Dave Carpenter and Adam Peeler. 21st and 22nd will go to David Westergreen and Dallas Myhan. Both of these drivers want to have a much better second race here compared to their first one. Dusty Dewar and Michael Pernasiglio in 23rd and 24th. And last row here is more likely just going to be Thomas Capuano, as I don't believe Dylan Thomas has printed up. He did not start half one either. Also, huge congratulations to Shift Esports on their 100th career victory. So, congratulations, total team effort from these guys. They have earned their 100th win.
As we're getting ready to get the grid's green flag. Green flag is now in the air. Nathaniel Cherry leading the way into turn one. We're 4 wide for the lead into turn one. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're extremely tight. How did they make that happen? Still 3 wide. Holy cow. Nathaniel Cherry, Matt Hackathorn. James Watson battling, duking it out. Door banging.
Oh!
Oh, you got Noah Brown almost getting turned. Keeps it on the track though, clean and green. Oh, a lot of these drivers get out into that loose stuff right there.
Enjoy it now, because
Really?
I think there's too much dirt. iRacing will probably have to fix that soon, or at least visually, too much dirt.
They're just a smidgen. It looks like everybody is still rolling as we come back onto the NASCAR portion of the racetrack. Riding on board here, Kynan Jones, the heart rate through the roof. Early on, running right now in the 4th spot. What can Kynan Jones do right now? I believe these drivers will have to pit within the, I believe it's, I'm missing the line here on how much fuel we have. Oh, as we got cars off the track. Number 10.
52, 25 to 10. Big incident here.
This was definitely towards the front. I missed it, my apologies. Let's take a look at it here on the replay. Get the 52 right there behind James Miller. Oh, just drove in a little bit too much. Got sideways.
Oh, hold on. These are two and the 21. These are all a couple separate incidents here.
Yeah, a lot going on. A lot of people, a lot of drivers, struggling with turn number 1.
Much rear brakes, and the 10 just loops it around. And so
Got
does
too much gas in it.
Yeah,
Doesn't hit anything, looks like.
I thought this was a multi-car crash, but no, it was just 3 separate spins.
Everybody's still rolling on the track. The one driver that's happy is this number 39 of James Watson, leading Matt Hackathorn, Cassidy McLeod, Kynan Jones, and Jake Scarborough right now, our top 5. 30 laps to start or the distance here tonight. We've already got to lap number 3. As you can see right there, Noah Brown, who started in 3rd, dropped 3 spots now, back into 6th.
I think James Watson was the biggest winner out of all of this.
Yeah, James Watson started in 4th. Found himself early on right up to the front. 3 spots. Matt Hackathorn started in 2nd. Running 2nd.
Well, no, actually, I mean, yeah, James Watson, really big winner in this because got the lead, but Cassie McLeod got the most starts from where she started. She's up 5 spots into 3rd.
And really starting to push on for 2nd place right now. Can she keep her tires and get through this pit sequence good enough to maybe capitalize and get 2 more spots and find herself in the lead and potentially win here? In a good spot early on and really driving her. I'd almost want to say better than the drivers in front of her.
Well, we'll see Capuano going down Perry Road. Little unfortunate luck there for Capuano as he has some more issues.
Drivers struggling with some portions of the track.
We also had
But
Cooper
Capriano-
Johnson have an issue at some point there on lap number 4. Got Cooper Johnson start deep in the first race, and then slowly but methodically work his way up into a 7th place finish.
Slightly off track right there. Spun himself out. Got to spun back around and back underway. Tricky corners right there. We're all slicked up with that dirt and debris. Cassidy McLeod now up to 2nd place.
I'm being shown Matt Hackathorn had an issue there on track. Matt Hackathorn has lost a ton of spots. He was in 2nd. All right, let's see what happened to Matt.
Did turn 1 get Matt Hackathorn?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it did.
yes, it did.
Oh, and so did
Oh,
Cassidy.
Cassidy McLeod. Oh, no. A little bit of damage might hurt some of the aero around this NASCAR portion of the track.
Cassidy may have some, maybe almost significant damage. We'll have to look. Matt Hackathorn for sure. That car is not going to be running as good as it used to, but will not have a what's it called, a meatball. You can see there a dent on the hood and that whole right side there from Cassidy. Because that won't affect her speed, but it shouldn't really affect her too much.
Looking at it from right here, it's just above that right front wheel that's dented in pretty good. So we'll have to see if that plays into factor, see if there's any potential engine issues under the hood. She's not getting heavy pressure from the Noah Brown machine as we look at Darren Staff right there.
Oh, Ethan Stanley.
Running in 7th. Behind him, it's a bee's nest of cars. You got Daniel Gore, James Miller, Ethan Stanley marching back to the field. Ethan Stanley started in 15th, up 6 spots. Our first half winner. Almost a little bit of deja vu right here. Just deeper in the pack this time.
Look how close he is.
Great racing here at this road course style event. Oh, Ethan Stanley drives it in really deep. Just gets to the inside. Daniel Gore has to back off of though because Danny G machine had it covered. Daniel Gore with a little bit of damage as well. Maybe James Miller is sitting here waiting to pounce on these drivers and maybe make a mistake in front of them. Good action off of that turn, trying to peek to the inside of Ethan Stanley. Cannot get there just yet. Oh, as Ethan Stanley tries to go around him and finds himself in all the gravel and he goes off the track. Ethan Stanley moves up from the 15th starting position up to 8th or 9th there. Unfortunately found some of the dirt gravel and slipped off the track. Darren Staff now finds himself in 7th.
Well, this has all been happening. Noah Brown has gotten around Cassidy McLeod to get that 2nd place spot. So now it's James Watson, Noah Brown, Cassidy McLeod, and Kyan Jones. Right behind them is Jake Scarborough too.
Oh, contact between James Miller and Daniel Gore to get past him on that position. We're at Kynan Jones all over the back bumper of Cassidy McLeod. McLeod has been about 2 seconds off the pace right now, so I'm not sure if that's the damage affecting her or kind of got her a name game or a mental game right now, but this track is dirty in this infield. Wow. There's debris all over the place. Drivers are almost dirt tracking it for the infield portion of this track right now.
My race pick, Gavin Hips, is taking it down Pear Road for crash damage.
Carlos, I feel like you have had probably the worst luck.
That's
all
exactly
season
the
long,
type
but
of luck that I've had all season.
yeah, it's I hate to say it, but I kind of feel bad for any driver that you pick. It seems to not go well for them in some way, shape, or form. You know, whether it's not always of their doing, just kind of circumstantial. But as we get back into this portion of this track, the drivers are doing a good job of managing it. Man, it is extremely dirty. At least 1 or 2, 3, 4 cars going off per lap off the track and bringing dirt onto it. And it's the iRacing has gotten it down so well you can actually see the little dirt pieces bouncing off the front noses as it's going flying through the air. And this is honestly, I love this layout of this track. This is way better than the one they got now.
Yeah, this track just looks like horrendously unforgiving.
Definitely has that old school road course vibe to it.
Oh, look, contact between the 77 and the 14 is Chase Scarborough kind of just moves Cassidy a little bit out of the way, and honestly, that's one of the cleanest ways I've ever seen that done in iRacing.
Cloud had a good run going on early on, then the driver unfortunately found the wall and she had nowheres to go. I believe the damage is kind of playing its part right here. She was up to second, now falling back just to edge of top 5. These drivers do have to pit at some point during this race. When will they do it? We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
10
we've
laps
only
in,
run 9 laps.
Yeah.
Oh, Dusty Dragon Doer had to take a tow. And oh, the 27. That hood is just flopping around. I think something happened between Adam Peeler and Dustin Dewar. Let's go back. He's on board with Dustin Dewar. Does he have an issue? Does Peeler's be... Oh, man. Oh, no.
As soon as I saw that car going towards the wall, I was like, oh no, anybody behind him is going to have some bad luck with this one. And unfortunately that happened. I believe the 10 car is now off the track as well.
Yeah, both of these cars are off the track now. Both of those cars are done for the day. Also done for the day, it looks like Michael Pernasiglio, Dylan Thomas, Thomas Capuano, Dallas Myhan, Gavin Hibbs, Nathaniel Cherry, Dustin Dewar, Adam Peeler, and also Matt Hackathon and James Miller. Oh, no, these are green flag pit stops. They've started,
Yep.
I think.
Yep, James Miller, the first one to bring it to pit road. Taking a look at his time, it looks like just a splash and go.
Boy, he really wish I had a
7
better
seconds in
angle.
the box. More drivers come down pit road. Receive service here in the next few laps. We'll see what they decide to do. James Miller knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to get in and get it over with. Get in some somewhat decently clean track and just try to make up as much time as he can because he knows drivers in front of him throughout the pit.
And that's
And
a
only
legit
3.2
strategy.
seconds. Yeah, and only 3.7 seconds on pit road. He definitely did not need much.
Yeah, battles in the front, battles for the top 5. It's going to be another legendary OSCA race here coming up. Interesting to see where these guys are going to line up after their green flag pit stops go through.
We're going double the distance in the second half as well versus the sprint race at the beginning, where the sprint race was 17 laps. This one is 30. We got 19 to go.
Ethan Stanley tried putting the bumper on Cassidy McLeod's quarter panel, but she was able to hang on and is taking a very defensive line there than the backstretch. Oh, Cassidy going down pit road. So is Kynan. 2 pair of friends going down pit road at the same time. Caden Tufts also going down pit road, so we have 3 cars down pit road at the moment.
see how those pit stops play out. Looks like they decided they wanted to go the tires route. James Miller, one of the first ones to pit, only took fuel. McLeod potentially took some time to fix that damage as well.
Yeah, about a 23 and a half second pit stop there for Cassidy. Ethan Stanley going down Pear Road.
Coming in real hot. Hopefully does not speed. You want to get as much speed as you can though, because you don't want to lose time. It can happen in a heartbeat to get that black flag as well.
So far, so good for Ethan Stanley. No speeding or anything.
Well,
Miller has already gone by
right.
him, though. I think James Miller went by Ethan Stanley before Stanley even got to a stop.
Looks like James Miller right now. Oh, contact Ethan Stanley. Contact with Kynan Jones.
Oh no. Yeah, Kynan Jones has gone around after contact. Let's quickly go and see just what happened with these guys. They were before pit stops, they were already next to each other. And Kynan Jones driving in there deep, I think overdrove the corner a little bit. And thankfully only took himself out and didn't take out the one.
Sent it in there a little too hard.
That's
Ethan
a
Stanley,
little too hard.
Was on the innocent bystander list for that one.
David Carpenter, David Westergreen, Dave Carpenter and David Westergreen down Pear Road.
Right now, Noah Brown still has yet to pit. We've got, looks like our top 9 drivers still have yet to pit. James Miller on the move. Looks like he just took a splash and go. We'll see how his strategy plays out. As we're now at halfway mark. Noah Brown now comes down pit road. James Watson follows suit. David Tooker as well. Darren Staff will stay out to lead a lap.
Also interesting, Noah Brown got a black flag. I believe he was your race leader. He got a black flag speeding.
Noah Brown, too fast.
That is absolutely not what you wanted to do here on this potentially one and only pit stop.
Especially when you don't have any yellow flags guaranteed. These drivers are going through this one turn, and I mean the outside of this track just looks like an ice skating rink if you were to get out there. It is extremely dirty.
Darren Staff, your current race leader, has yet to go down pit road. Neither has Ray Bracey, the last 2 drivers to go down pit road. James Miller, though, you saw that splash and go, currently in 3rd place, would be your race leader when the 45 and the 7 do go down pit road. There goes the 45, making his way down pit road. Will the 7 follow? 7 will not follow. 7's going to go out there and lead a lap. Interesting to know, Ethan Stanley is behind James Miller. He's behind by about 4 seconds. Or, excuse me, he's behind by about 9 seconds. As Miller now takes that 2nd place spot. So it'll be interesting to see how far ahead Miller will be and if he can capitalize on that very early pit stop.
believe Ethan Stanley took 4 tires that time as well. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that gap, which it does look like it is hovering at 8 seconds. We'll see what he can make up there with those 4 fresh tires on James Miller, who will cycle around to be our leader. Once Ray Bracey decides to make the left-hand turn to pit road, as Ray Bracey goes down the backstretch this time. Yes, Ray Bracey is coming this time.
There he goes.
We'll cycle James Miller back to the lead. Oh, the car was getting loose there. Could not catch who it was. I think it was Caden Tufts in the 00.
There goes Bracey
James
into
Miller
a stall.
will take back over the lead with a 7.2 lead over Ethan Stanley. Does James Miller have good enough tires to hold on to this lead for the next 13 laps over Ethan Stanley? Ethan Stanley has fuel and tires, but obviously those tires take longer to get when you're on pit road, so to see if the fresher rubber will help make up that big gap, as we're now down to 6.2 seconds.
I think it's too much of a gap. Excuse me. I think it's too little of a gap that James Miller has. I think Ethan Stanley will get to him in plenty of time. He's been gaining about 1.5 seconds these last couple laps.
Now I do
And they're
believe
still double digits
it'll
laps
even out. I think it'll like slowly even out, but I still think, like you said, Ethan Stanley is, you know, a second a lap right now could definitely get it done.
Let's see what Ethan Stanley lap is this time by. His last is a 110.199. This time by 110.109. So at least he's mostly consistent. He'll have a couple really fast laps there. As yeah, 1.37. I don't know. Unless they start evening out like very, very quickly, I don't think that James Miller might be able to hold on to the lead. I think for sure Stanley will get there. The question is, how many laps will Stanley have when he gets there to make a move?
I'm sure James Miller will make it fair and difficult for Ethan Stanley. These races that come down to the wire like this, always play out very well. And great here in the broadcast booth on 3 Wide Television, as we got different strategies throughout the field. Some drivers decide to come in and get a quick splash, and some other drivers think that they need 4 tires to get to the end. We'll take a look at it this time around. James Watson right there in 4th spot.
Trying to see if there's any other close battles here. As Cassidy McLeod and Santiago Aguirre are battling side by side there for that position. Advantage going to Santiago. Cooper Johnson not too far behind him in 10th. As we saw, Cooper had that issue early in lap 1 of Santiago over drives corner number 1, and he loses that spot right back to Cassidy.
Turn 1 has been extremely treacherous all night long. Even during practice, drivers were struggling. One driver not struggling is James Miller, and the other one not struggling is Ethan Stanley. Ethan Stanley 3.9 seconds back. Can he get to James Miller? As you can see, that lap time it's still faster, but it did start going the other direction just a little bit that lap. We'll see what it's like this time.
I think Stanley will get there. Tucker is the one who I'm not too sure about. I do believe that the lap times will probably even out before Tucker can actually get there to be able to battle for that position. But Stanley, without a doubt, unless he makes a mistake, he has plenty of time and pace to get to the back bumper of the 09 of Miller. But the question is, what will he do to get past him, and what will Miller do to block that attempt? We've seen Stanley already try putting the bumper to a couple drivers in a clean method, of course, to get past them. Will I don't know, how much effort is he going to put into getting that lead? How much physical effort, I should say, will he try?
We'll have to see how it plays out as the laps are winding down. 9.5 laps to go, coming around for 9 laps to go. James Miller, splash and go strategy earlier, well, 4 laps earlier on than everybody else. Trying to drive away from the field. But the field behind him with pressure tires.
First time it's been under a second of time gain. As yeah, you're seeing those tires start to like even out now.
If I'm James Miller, I'm still nervous though.
Oh,
we can see how fast Ethan Stanley is, and he's gonna make it a heck of a battle here very shortly. Look here with Darren Staff and James Watson 4th and 5th. Darren Staff a little loose there trying to get around James Watson. You can see Daniel Gore trying to capitalize on this battle as well. Maybe pick off these two drivers as they're battling it out. Darren Staff and another awesome, flawless Mountain Dew paint scheme. I believe that is the voltage scheme. Week in and week out. It's on some great schemes. And let's say it caught James Watson off guard right there.
Sure did, it looked like. He now moves up into 4th place, and now Daniel Gore's going to be trying to battle for that 5th place position, get himself into the top 5. That battle for the lead, it's closing in even quicker now. As another under 1 second lap time, but you know, with 8 laps to go, even if Stanley is only running half a second faster than Miller, he's going to catch up to his back bumper.
Ray Bracey, or excuse me, and James Miller needs to just, you know, be smooth and calm and try not to make any mistakes. Try not to let Ethan Stanley get there any quicker than he already is. As the battle for the lead is now under 1 second.
Yeah, he's
still
there.
Putting down flawless lap times.
At this point, he is essentially there.
This makes these drivers our biggest gainers, ironically enough, as Ethan Stanley is there and now all over the back bumper of James Miller on that 09 machine.
Also,
coming around this time around,
issue, and he has crashed in the track. When we get a chance, I'll take a look at the replay there for Santiago, but he's losing spots badly.
Had a decent night going there. Looks like he is rolling again. So we are looking at this battle up front. We're riding on board there with Ethan Stanley, who drives in an extremely deep into turn 1. Now to the back bumper of James Miller. What is he going to do to get around him? How is James Miller going to be defensive? The 4 tires on the number 1 machine. Splash only for the 09.
Yeah, right now, look at that gap between Miller being the first chase-off driver and Gore being the second chase-off driver that we see. It's 3 spots. Those are 3 critical points that he's gaining, and a lot of points if he can win this race, even finishing second. But he wants to win this race here, especially with under 6 laps remaining.
That's what we come here to do, is to win as drivers. James Miller is going to have to drive the wheels off of this car to stay in front of that number 1 of Ethan Stanley. Ethan Stanley was just a really good drive in to the corners. He's going to get him there in a turn 1. The battle for lead and potentially the race win still side by side there to the S's. James Miller prevails, but overdrives. He's going to get up and into the marbles. Can he hold on to it? He cannot. Ethan Stanley is going to prevail and take the lead and potentially take the win right there with that pass. But James Miller back to his back bumper after getting loose, getting that debris on his tires. Heavy pressure all over that back bumper, that one. Playoff hopes
race pick?
on the line. Ethan Stanley?
Yeah, didn't you pick him?
I did.
Nice. Look at you. You might get second place after all.
I got lucky. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Ethan Stanley working his way from the back to the front, had a little bit of an issue, had another issue, another driver overshot the corner, but Ethan Stanley's back to the lead, going to try to give Shift Esports their 101st win and sweep here tonight. Still not over, 4 laps left. It only took him about a lap and a half to get that lead from James Miller once he did get there. Meanwhile, Tucker, I don't think he'll get there fully. I think he'll be close enough. He'll be close, but I think he may just be a lap or 2 shy. But what a drive by James Miller.
A great drive by James Miller here. I believe these drivers were on the podium for the first race. Take a quick look at a replay here.
Here's what happened to Santiago.
Oh, turn 1.
It just catches you by surprise.
Turn 1 definitely looks extremely difficult. I will say that. If they're struggling this bad, I'm sure I'd be in the same boat. So, it just keeps getting worse. It looks like. Oh.
Yeah, and that unfortunately had destroyed his car. So Santiago in the garage there with the meatball.
Three laps to go here for Ethan Stanley. Lap traffic ahead of him. What will they do when he gets to him? Will they make it easy for him to get past? Or will they continue to hold their line, which they are more than welcome to? And you got to be extremely careful here through the infield not to get into the dirt throughout the course, because it is like marbles that it sticks to these hot, sticky tires, and it turns these tires into ice skates.
Listen, it's also not over. James Miller has been doing a great job of just staying there behind Ethan Stanley after all. They're passing the injured Kylie Jones there. I thought Miller would have started dropping pretty heavily, but he's been hanging in there.
2 laps to go this time by for Ethan Stanley. Just got to put together some consecutive clean laps to stay ahead here of James Miller. I gotta say, Carlos, it was great racing all night long throughout the whole field. It was really hard to cover it all at one point as well.
It really is, yeah. OSCA just has a history of having some phenomenal races at road course. It's always it's always something to look forward to. And while not every single race will come out with a photo finish or a driver within a second of second place, but there's always incredible strategy, like seeing if the 09 of James Miller could have held on to win.
What could have James Miller done right there to make it difficult for Ethan Stanley? But it didn't make it difficult enough, because Ethan Stanley started in 15th, now finds himself in the lead, taking the white flag once again here in the Roval 106 here on 3 Wide Television. Through turns 1, the trickiest turn all night long for the whole field. Makes it through nice and clean. James Miller doing everything he can within 1 second. Would need a pretty big mistake out of Ethan Stanley right here to get to him. In the distance, you got David Tooker. 3.5 out back. So this race lead is just between Miller and Stanley, and Miller giving it everything he got. It's coming off the corners almost sideways. Coming back onto the NASCAR track one more time for Ethan Stanley in that number 1 machine. Trying to grab win number 101 and sweep the night for his team. Coming through NASCAR's turns 3 and 4 in this Roval Legacy Race final turn. It's going to go to Ethan Stanley once again here at the Roval.
Congratulations to Ethan Stanley sweeping here tonight, getting Shift Esports their 100th and 101st first victory. James Miller with an amazing strategy, finishing second. David Tooker third, Darren Staff fourth, and Daniel Gore finishing fifth. Cassidy McLeod getting 2 top 10s here tonight. So does Cooper Johnson, as he is carrying Bojo there. He is carrying number 7 there of Ray Bracey.
Literally carrying.
Oh, there goes the engine for the 1. No victory celebrations there for Ethan Stanley. So finishing the race, though, here's David Westerman in 14th. And Joe Francis is going there into 3 and 4.
That Binks designs machines to finish up one of the final races, the semifinal race of this season. Another great race for our second half.
Yep, and let's go over those second half of the feature here race results.
Once again, our winner, Ethan Stanley for half number 2. James Miller, Deja Vu, finishes in second for half number 2. David Tooker squeaks up 1 more spot, finds himself in third. Darren Staff finishes in 4th. Daniel Gore finishes in 5th. Jake Scarborough is 6th. James Watson 7th. Ray Bracey 8th. Cassidy McLeod 9th. Cooper Johnson 10th. Dave Carpenter 11th. Matt Hackathorn 12th. Noah Brown 13th. 14th goes to David Westergreen. 15th goes to Joe Francis. 16th, Kynan Jones. 17th, Santiago Aguirre. 18th, Caden Tufts. 19th, you've got Nathaniel Cherry. 20th, you've got Dustin Dewar. Adam Peeler, 21st. Gavin Hibbs, 22nd. Dallas Mahan, 23rd. Thomas Capuano, 24th. Michael Pergnasiglio, 25th. And Dylan Thomas, once again, 26th. That is your 26-car field finishing order.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and bring in your third, second, and first place interviews. So start off with third place finisher here, David Tooker. Here, take it away, Jeremy.
Figured it wasn't going to be bad with this.
As we got David here in the booth now with us. David Tooker in the number 75 machine. Man, you finished 4th in that first half. Second half, you started 12th, marched yourself all the way up to a podium position in 3rd. What a night, man. You definitely had yourself dialed in here at this Legacy Roval.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid race. Not not the Roval I guess I'm used to doing, but that made for a fun challenge, you know, throughout the entire practice. It looks the same, but it drives completely different. Bumps are in different places. And, the grip level is kind of entirely different, too, from the current Roval, which makes me appreciate the current one a little more. But No, it was just a little bit of a learning curve, a little bit more than I was expecting, but it still made for a great race. James made a great call with the undercut there. I figured that was going to pay off. I just didn't know how well it was going to pay off with the tire deficit, but his tires held up. Kind of a stiff handling setup tonight. The body wasn't really rolling around too much, so it was just kind of like the rear end of the car was sliding around, but the front end was not responding. So made a little bit of a challenge, but I mean Stanley's top dog on any road course, any car we put him in. He's probably going to be in the top 3, if not competing for the win almost all the time. And I have a lot of respect for him. Me and him definitely have had a lot of battles in here and over in Elite Racing League too. I race with him in many different series, but solid driver there. So everybody in this league is pretty well. I had fun driving through the field with Darren and Noah Brown and a couple other guys. They raced hard, but they raced me clean and made for a good race. So I'm very happy with the podium. I felt like we definitely deserved that.
Well, David, you brought home a 4th and a 3rd tonight. Who do you have to thank for getting you here?
Huge shout out to Westergreen. He gave me the offer to come run his car literally as soon as the last Thursday's race ended. He was messaging me, asking me to run. So really shout out to him for this opportunity. No one else really offered me a ride, which I mean that's fine, but just really happy to have a friend over there in the garage, D West, and all his teammates. Shout out Bite Size Sports, Carnage Media. Those are our 2 sponsors for the team. Like I said, D West, Big Bloom for what he's doing, giving us a place to race. Makes it a little interesting when we get these off-road courses or just off tracks like old versions. It makes it really cool. So huge shout out to him. But like I said, D West for the opportunity. Really appreciate him doing what he's doing and running his team, and also you guys up in the booth. Really appreciate it.
Congratulations again. Hopefully we'll talk to you in the near future. Have a great holiday season.
Alrighty, thank you, boys.
That was David Tucker, our 3rd place finisher. We'll grab the 2nd place finisher for the first half and the second half. The 09 of James Miller. Man, you just needed one more spot in both halves. What did you need to get around Ethan Stanley? He was just hooked up.
The first race, I needed some left side tires for sure. It was way too tight to making the infield rights. Somehow the left-hander in 3 and 4 on the oval was just burning the left front off. And I was just pushing it too hard at the start of the race because I was really gaining on him. I was like, man, why is he going so slow through the oval? And I found out why. And then the second race, I probably could have taken left side tires with the splash of fuel. But I figured I didn't want to chance it. I didn't know what side of tires to take. So I was like, I'll just splash and go and see what it got. And I'm really surprised I was as competitive at the end there, trying to catch Ethan after he passed me.
Yeah, tires seemed to, I wouldn't say equal out completely, but they definitely started to get pretty close there. And you definitely had a great battle there with Ethan. Clean racing between you two all night. 2 second place finishes. You got to feel great about that. Even though you're 1 spot short, who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight? And what was your season like overall too? Before we get to those thanks, before we get there.
It started out great. I was like getting maybe the worst finish was a top 10. I had 3 wins on the season, and then I don't know what changed. I went from getting I forget what it was. It was either I'd get top 6 in the first half, and then I'd finish 18th or worse in the second half or something like that. And that went on for 7 weeks straight. And let me tell you, it was rough. I am so glad to have a good double feature tonight to get, even it's second. It sucks, as I always say. A win would have been great, but it's just feels so good to put 2 clean races together and have good results. Best playoff driver, not going to matter because Daniel Gore was perfect all season, but you know, we just got to clean up our own racing. Some of it my fault, some of it not. It is what it is. That's racing. The fun of it. It's what keeps you going week in, week out.
And of course, who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight and throughout the season?
Just as always, huge thanks to Matt Hack and Cameron Rich for the the car and the opportunity to drive full time this season. It's been a lot of up and downs, but they've been keeping me focused and keeping me trying to have a good attitude coming into it and trying to get my head in the right spot and not thinking I'm gonna wreck, because that ends up putting me in a wreck, and thinking, you know, you're gonna go out and win. That was the attitude tonight. Didn't quite get it done, but 2 second place definitely show a way better result than others. So yeah, just huge thanks to them.
Well, James, congratulations on your great run tonight. We appreciate your time tonight, and hopefully we'll maybe talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That was James Miller, our second place finisher in both halves. Carlos, now we're going to sit here. We're going to finish it up with the number 1 machine. Sub it in tonight. Ethan Stanley comes home with 2 victories in half 1 and half 2. Ethan, man, you were just lights out in that first half. Second half, you definitely had a slight challenge, but looks like your 4-tire call, that definitely made the difference.
Yeah, I was a lot closer than I thought it would be with the no tire call on his behalf, but yeah, it was a pretty solid race. Just mostly managed by tires, and yeah, just avoid chaos at the beginning there in the second race. But yeah, pretty good night overall. 2 wins.
Well, you were my pick for the second race, so I appreciate you coming out here with another win. I think that might be my first win in the broadcaster's booth picks selection there, so appreciate you doing that for me. Ethan, who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to Seth Rawls and Shift Esports for having me on. He got me to do this like a couple months in advance, so I guess he really wanted me to fill in. I guess check them out at their merch shop. That's what this car is advertising. And also big thanks to you guys for putting on great broadcasts every week, and you know, Vic and everybody that runs this league.
Well, we appreciate your time, Ethan. Congratulations on grabbing 2 victories tonight. Hopefully we'll see you in the near future.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Wow, Carlos, what a night of racing here at this Legacy Roval. You can definitely tell the drivers had their hands. What are your final thoughts?
Excuse me, my mic was muted. This is definitely just another classic OSCA road course race. It wasn't the cleanest or prettiest in terms of dirt flying everywhere, but in terms of racing action, it was phenomenal. Interesting strategies there that just didn't work out for James Miller, but we saw the first 2 drivers finish in the same position, first and second race, and just beautiful OSCA racing here for the penultimate race of the season. And next week we go to Auto Club to finish off the 2024 B season.
That is correct. You said it right there. This is the penultimate. I see it. I tried.
Yep,
I tried to do it that time. I did again. Okay, so next week, we are going to crown a champion, and we are going to be here on 3 Wide Television to do just that, to bring the broadcast to you, to crown that champion. My name was Jeremy Briggs. Carlos doing great work in the production booth and hanging out with us as well. This was 3 Wide Television's production of OSCA 2024 B season, Weekends Woodland Series Racing. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great night.